So, you've given us a fascinating challenge this time. Chapter 13 of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Our deep dive today is into the pivotal point in the creature's story. We're looking specifically at how his observations of this family kind of unlock a new understanding of the world and himself. It's about seeing humanity through his, well, very unique lens.
Absolutely. Chapter 13 is, it's much more than just plot. It's really where Shelley masterfully uses the creature's growing awareness to dissect fundamental aspects of human existence.
Okay.
And what's particularly striking is how language, this tool we often take for granted, it becomes both a key to understanding and a really painful reminder of his otherness.
The chapter opens with a lovely contrast, doesn't it? You have the rejuvenation of spring.
Yeah, that new life.
Mirroring this potential for happiness in the cottagers' lives. But then this sudden shift as Felix becomes melancholic, it sets the stage perfectly for the arrival of the veiled woman on horseback. It's such a dramatic entrance.
It is. And that carefully constructed image, the dark clothing, the veil, it immediately signals that Safie's arrival is going to be, well, significant.
Yeah, something's happening.
And the fact that her first word is Felix's name, spoken so sweetly, it just speaks volumes about the connection they share. Even before any real communication begins, it's a moment charged with unspoken emotion.
And when Safie is unveiled, the description is almost like breathtaking. Angelic beauty, raven hair, dark, gentle eyes. It's the absolute peak of romantic beauty,
Totally.
And Felix is instantly captivated. His sorrow just melts away, gone.
Yeah.
Calling her his sweet Arabian, it speaks to a cultural context of exoticism, obviously, but it also underscores the immediate affection he feels.
Definitely.
But then comes the hurdle. They don't speak the same language.
Yeah.
How do they even begin to bridge that gap?
Well, through the most fundamental of human interactions, gesture and repetition.
Right, the basics.
It's a testament to our innate ability to connect, even without shared vocabulary. And what's fascinating is the immediate uplift Safie brings to the household. Shelley's comparison to the sun-dispelling morning mists is so evocative.
It really is.
Highlighting her almost radiant presence and the way she just banishes their gloom. And Agatha's warm welcome that further emphasizes this positive impact.
And it's in Safie's efforts to learn their language, repeating words and phrases, that we see this incredible parallel with the creature.
Exactly.
Hidden away, observing, he realizes he can tap into this same process. It's this shared journey into language that really unlocks the world for him, wouldn't you say?
Precisely. They're both starting from zero, basically, in terms of this specific language, but the text makes a point of noting the creature's astonishingly rapid progress.
Yeah, it's almost unbelievable.
While Safie manages 20 words in her first lesson, the creature is absorbing and mimicking almost everything. This isn't just about him being a quick study. It really underscores his intense motivation, his desperate need to understand and, connect with the world he's observing.
Definitely. You can feel that urgency. And then the learning expands beyond just spoken words. Safie starts getting instruction in reading and writing, and suddenly a whole new dimension opens up for the creature. He gets access to this wide field for wonder and delight. It's like going from 2D to 3D, basically.
Which brings us to a really crucial element, the book they used to teach Safie Volney's Ruins of Empires. Now, this wasn't just a random choice by Shelley.
No, definitely not.
It's a work known for its broad historical sweep and its declamatory style, which Felix believes will resonate with Safie's, quote, Eastern sensibilities.
Right.
So through these lessons, the creature isn't just learning vocabulary. He's being exposed to ideas about civilization, governance, and the rise and fall of societies. Big stuff.
It's an incredibly efficient way for Shelley to deliver a vast amount of information to the creature and therefore to us, the readers. Through Felix's explanations, the creature gets this whirlwind tour of human history, from the slothful Asiatics to the stupendous genius of the Greeks, the virtues and eventual decline of the Romans, the era of chivalry, the rise of Christianity, the discovery of America, and the tragic fate of its indigenous peoples.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a condensed, almost operatic view of human endeavor, both the glorious and the horrifying.
And importantly, Shelley highlights the creature's emotional engagement with this historical narrative. He shares Safie's tears over the plight of the Native Americans. This shared empathy, even across their very different circumstances, it really underscores a fundamental human capacity for compassion, regardless of background or appearance. It makes you wonder about the very definition of humanity Shelley is exploring here.
Yeah, it certainly does. And this deep dive into human history leads the creature to grapple with some really profound contradictions within human nature itself. He sees this incredible potential for good, the powerful, virtuous, and magnificent aspects.
Right, the highlights.
Juxtaposed with the undeniable reality of humans being vicious and base. How does he even begin to reconcile these opposing forces? It must just blow his mind.
Oh, totally. It's a struggle that lies at the heart of the novel, really. The creature, in his initial innocence, simply cannot comprehend concepts like intentional violence or, the necessity of laws to govern behavior.
It makes no sense to him.
Exactly. It's only through learning the details of vice and bloodshed that his initial wonder begins to sour into disillusionment and even disgust. He's getting a very stark, unfiltered education in the darker aspects of human history.
And it's not just the grand sweep of history. The everyday interactions of the cottagers also reveal the intricacies and maybe the absurdities of human society to him. He learns about private property, the vast disparities between wealth and poverty, the rigid structures of rank, descent, noble blood. It must seem like a very strange and arbitrary system to an outsider.
Absolutely. He's observing these complex social constructs without any of the inherent biases or assumptions we develop just by, living in society.
Yeah, we just accept it.
Right. And this allows Shelley to critique these structures by showing how illogical or unfair they might appear to someone seeing them for the first time.
And this newfound knowledge takes a very personal and incredibly painful turn for the creature. He starts to apply these lessons about human value and societal standing to his own existence.
Oof, yeah.
He realizes that what humans seem to prize most, high and unsullied descent united with riches, are precisely the things he lacks entirely. He has no lineage, no wealth, no social connections, nothing.
It's a devastating realization.
Yeah.
Utterly devastating. He understands that he is, by human standards, completely without worth. And it's not just his lack of social capital, it's his physical form itself. He sees himself reflected in the horrified reactions of others and internalizes that judgment, describing himself as hideously deformed and loathsome.
So harsh.
He recognizes he's not even considered to be of the same nature as man, despite his physical strength and resilience. And the crushing loneliness of knowing he is utterly unique in his monstrous form, there is no one else like him. Anywhere.
That moment of self-awareness, encapsulated in the question, was I then a monster, a blot upon the earth, is truly heartbreaking, just gut-wrenching.
It really is.
And Shelley emphasizes the profound emotional toll this takes on him. He even longs for the simplicity of his earlier ignorant existence, where his concerns were purely physical, food, shelter.
Exactly. It's the burden of knowledge. Shelley uses that potent metaphor of knowledge clinging to the mind like a lichen on the rock.
Oh, that's good.
To illustrate this irreversibility. Once you understand, you can't ununderstand. And for the creature, this understanding brings immense suffering. He even contemplates death as a release, despite his inherent fear of the unknown.
And yet, amidst this growing despair, his admiration for the cottagers persists. He sees their kindness, their gentle interactions, their inherent goodness. But this admiration only serves to highlight his exclusion, doesn't it?
Painfully so. His only connection to them is through these stolen observations, which, as the text points out, intensify his yearning for belonging rather than satisfying it. It's a constant, brutal reminder of what he can never have.
He longs for the simplest of human connections. A kind word, a smile, a shared conversation. These everyday moments that we might take for granted are utterly inaccessible to him.
Yeah. He witnesses Agatha's tenderness, Safie's joy, the old man's wisdom, Felix's companionship, all from a distance, forever an outsider looking in.
And through these observations, he also gains an understanding of fundamental human relationships, the difference of sexes, the bond between parent and child, the affection between siblings.
And building blocks.
Exactly, the building blocks of human connection. And he has none of them. He has no creator he knows, no one who resembles him, no shared history. The question of his own identity remains a constant, agonizing puzzle. Who am I?
And it's remarkable how Shelley portrays the complex emotional landscape within the creature. He feels indignation at injustice through the historical texts, delight in the cottager's kindness, wonder at the world unfolding before him.
It's a roller coaster.
It is. All these emotions ultimately coalesce into a deep love and reverence for this family whom he, in a moment of, well, self-deception, considers his protectors. It's a poignant illustration of his desperate yearning for connection, even if it's based on a fantasy.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into chapter 13, it's clear that this chapter is a massive turning point.
Absolutely huge.
We see the incredible power of observation as a catalyst for learning and self-awareness. We witness the creature's initial, almost innocent understanding of human society and history, which then quickly becomes complicated by the messy realities of human behavior. And ultimately, we see the profound and painful impact of this knowledge on his sense of self and his overwhelming feelings of isolation. It's just heavy.
Indeed, and this brings us to a crucial point for you, the listener, to consider. Reflect on that fundamental human need for connection and belonging. How does the absence of these essential elements shape an individual's perception of the world and their place within it? The creature's journey in chapter 13 offers a powerful and truly heartbreaking illustration of this. So consider, in our own world today, what aspects of human interaction, social structures, or even our understanding of history might appear most perplexing or contradictory to someone observing us for the first time, without any prior context or inherent biases.
That's a really good question.
It's a question that really makes you think about what it means to be human, doesn't it?